Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. Today I pulled our first oracle card and it was love. So today is going to be a love reading for this collective. So I trust that if you clicked in, there is something for you here. And I'll just start off reading the love card. It says, listen to your heart, embrace what makes you happy. There are 1 million reasons to love. Now, as I've said multiple times on this channel, I don't like to speak on external predictions or anything that might feed our ego or cause us to wait on external circumstances to grant us happiness, but rather I focus on the inner journey and our internal world. So with this love card, maybe you're single and you're not looking for love, but the love card speaks, love is an internal state, right? Before it is an external experience. I mean, they happen both in parallel, but ultimately you won't experience the degree of love in an external relationship or circumstance if you haven't already reached that level internally. It's internal and then out, that pours outward. So listening to your heart is crucial, and I'm getting the message of your intuition. This collective, we have all varying types of people and people at different points on their path. Some may just be learning to tap into their intuition. Some may be, may have been practicing it for years. But there's always a call back to how can I sharpen and fine-tune my ability to listen and hear my intuition, to hear those subtle nudges and quiet whispers of our heart. And so there's just first off a reminder of really to lead with your intuition at all times, because that is your connection to source, and that is what's going to guide you on the most personal level, because it's only for you. It's your intuition. It's your connection. You being this piece of this infinite divine source energy. Your intuition is that gateway that's for you only to connect you back to that source. So it really is such a sacred portal that we should always call ourselves back to if we want to be living and moving towards higher frequencies and higher alignment. We should be committed to utilizing our intuition to achieve more and bring in more love and light into our lives. So think about what brings you that inner joy. And we talk about this a lot on this channel of where do your passions lie? In our 7 facets workshop reading, one of those facets is your free time, your hobbies, how you spend your time. And it's so important to be moving towards that which brings you joy, that which you feel passionate about, that which it's very easy for you to feel love for. This could be your pets, this could be an artistic hobby, but the more that we experience that feeling of love and passion and joy, not only do we get better at feeling it because it becomes a habit embedded in our brain, but we also attract more love into our life. We're able to see love throughout all of the experiences that we go through in life. So the ability to tap into your intuition and to move towards that which feels good and brings you joy and love is key as the first step towards living a life of more love. So now that we've gotten that message through, and that's kind of the foundation of how we want to approach this concept of love, I want to get into our relationships. And right off the bat, I'm getting the message of how our relationships are a mirror to our internal world. So again, we move inward to outward. And even in our outward external dynamics and relationships, it's still a call back to our internal world. And that's the beauty of this life that we live, of the body that we are in and the consciousness that we are living through. It is so sacred, and it can so easily be lost and drifted from when we go through life with these kind of egoic desires, or, seeking for happiness or validation or fulfillment outside of us. And so it's so important also to view our relationships as a mirror to our internal world, to know that we are attracting lessons, or we are attracting that which resonates with where we are at this time. So again, this focus on pulling us back to our internal world, because that's, this isn't like in a selfish way. This is the point of life, is to evolve and grow our soul. And so through these experiences that we go through in life, both positive and negative, we are being called back to our own soul, our own heart. And to better understand our inner world is to better grow and evolve it. So we're getting the Oracle card Breakthrough. Wow. So there are a bunch of butterflies on this card. So I'm picking up on this huge transformation, and I'm getting chills tapping into this. There's also a lot of water on this card. So, the art, this is the Nature Whispers Oracle deck, and the art on these cards is just absolutely beautiful and stunning. So with the butterflies and the water, it's like this beautiful emotional rebirth. And I hope that just this message in itself is allowing you or helping you to tap into just what that abundance feels like, because I'm getting so many chills just channeling into it and looking at the card. And this is about, and I really encourage you to pause and tap into it yourself if you need more time. But this is about feeling confident that things are falling into place for you. This is the moment that the seed sprouts up through the soil, and you start to see from your perspective that we now have a sprouting seedling, right? Emphasis on from your perspective, right? Because the seed was always growing. It was just under the soil up into this point, right? So when you see those first sprouts of a plant or a seed, that's your confirmation in your physical reality. But before the seed sprouts, let's say you plant the seed, you're excited about it, you're happy about it, but you're not going outside every day waiting, and looking for the sprout and being unhappy if it's not there. It's not like you're now happy because the seed has sprouted, right? You always knew the seed was growing and that it was going to eventually sprout and pop up out of the soil, right? And that is this concept of knowing that things are falling into place. And I hope you can see that what I'm getting at is that this is an identity that we embody. It has nothing to do with something actually falling into place or the seed actually sprouting. It has to do with our perception of the journey, not of the outcome, and certainly not of any kind of validation or fulfillment resulting from that outcome. But think about how validating it feels to know that the journey you're on is perfect, is perfectly timed, and is perfectly teaching you the lessons that you need to know, is perfectly mirroring that which you need to be mirrored for your soul's highest evolution. When you tap into that knowing, doesn't that feel so validating and fulfilling? And doesn't that make you happy? Like that makes you feel that kind of internal fulfillment and contentment, rather than this external gesture or relationship or outcome. So you really are emerging. And again, it's not just the seed emerging from the soil, but your mindset, your perspective, your consciousness is emerging to this new level of feeling at peace, feeling the confidence that everything is just perfect. And you are building this habit and you are having this breakthrough. And you've worked so hard really to build this habit. So I want it to be known that it's paying off, really. Like, you're going to start recognizing and remembering how much inner work you've done, how hard you've worked, and how different it now feels. If you were to be able to, flash back or go back into your mind and body years ago, or even months ago, maybe even weeks, you would so clearly see how different it feels to live in your consciousness now than it did back then. And sometimes with time and the gradual growth that we accomplish, it's difficult to remember just how far we've come. But you are having this breakthrough of, wow, I've really gotten myself to this point of being able to see things from a higher perspective and being able to feel better, to feel good, to feel love more of the time, most of the time. So really tap into just how blessed you are to be living this life, to be going through this evolution of your soul, and what a gift it is to have this experience in life and to reap the benefits of all of that inner work and internal growth. And that in itself is just such a empowering feeling that's so full of joy and love that it makes us want to continue growing even more. And so this is the upward spiral you're on, and you're realizing that now. I'm also getting that your creative abilities are being called forth now. Maybe this has been something that you've been nurturing more, or maybe you're being called to prioritizing those creative hobbies that are going to bring you in that flow state more and connect you with source energy, because this is creation, right? This is the magic of life. And so if there have been hobbies that you've been called to do, then really lean into that, and you will continue to spiral upward because you'll be creating new mindsets and having those breakthroughs, but you'll also be creating new art. And that's all contributing to the evolution of the planet as well, and the love that we spread on this planet through our art. And this could be anything. I mean, this could be writing. This could also even just be active hobbies like sports, or anything that kind of gets you in a flow state and makes you feel aligned. Don't underestimate the power and the healing that comes from you following your heart and pursuing these passions. So we're also getting the Page of Pentacles. So you may, if this relates to your hobbies and these passions that we were just speaking on, then this could be a message of being at kind of an early stage of planting a seed. Actually, that's actually the card. Every time I get the Page of Pentacles, I think about planting seeds, which is interesting because I already gave that analogy. I mean, I give that analogy in a lot of these readings, but it's so fitting. And, with this collective that's just going through so much growth, I mean, we really do plant seeds all the time. And so the Page of Pentacles could be speaking to that metaphor in the context that I gave earlier, but it could also be speaking to, like I was just saying, about creative hobbies and, beginning to plan what you want to do moving forward. And it's that really diligent and ambitious energy. It's like the star student that's so motivated and really wants to achieve their goals and is going to be very dependable and dedicated and consistent with this goal. Now, as this relates to love, I know I said this was going to be a love reading, which sometimes implies we're talking about our relationships, even though we've been talking so much about our internal journey thus far. As this relates to love in the context of relationships, this could very much be a seed planted, but I'm really picking up so strongly on how this is intertwined with the passions and the creative pursuits that you pursue internally. Like, this doesn't have to be something you share within a relationship, but that are your own personal hobbies. And I'm getting that this is intertwined with your relationship, because this is how the relationship will be able to be sustainable, is because it's in balance in terms of your existence and experience and contributions in your external relationship, and the give and take of that with what you do to feed your internal world. So what passions are you called to? Where in life is your intuition leading you towards love? And this includes in the most practical ways, or the most simple actions that we can take towards doing things that bring us joy. Again, whether it's art or movement or anything that brings you to that meditative or flow state. So the Page of Pentacles is speaking on this seed, both the seed of a relationship, and maybe this is a concept for you, like a far looking future relationship that you're trying to manifest. And we have the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck, as well as the 8 of Wands. So I'm really feeling like you're kind of subconsciously manifesting this relationship that may in the future be very fast moving, because you've done the work where both people kind of know where they're at, they know what they want, and there's a lot of security and stability on an individual internal level, which then is able to manifest quite quickly on the external level. Just take that as it resonates. The Page of Pentacles is also an earthly sign, which can represent a more slow moving, kind of diligent, long-term approach, as you're waiting for the seed to grow. But the ultimate message here, regardless of fast or slow, is that this 10 of Cups energy at the bottom of the deck is what we're trying to manifest. So whether that's far out in the future for you, or something that's right around the corner, or something that you're already in right now, the Page of Pentacles is not only speaking to that seed that you're trying to manifest of that relationship, but also the seed of your hobbies that you're being called to partake in more. Like, how are you spending your free time? And are you being a student of life? Are you being a student of that which your intuition is pulling you towards? Are you open to learning and receiving that which you need to do to bring more love into your life, into your internal world? And then ultimately the seed of our breakthrough that we spoke on before, which is that you are living in the breakthrough before you even see the seed sprouting. Okay, let's pull one more card. This is a really exciting energy that we're in, and I feel like you really have to feel it for yourself. It's like, I can't tell you that your breakthrough is here, or your seed is sprouting, or your seeds are being planted, and that should bring you joy and love and passion. Like, you really have to feel what resonates for you, like what is bringing you more joy into your life. And that's the breakthrough for you, to realize that that was always there for you, and that these pathways towards more joy and love are always there for you. And it's like there's infinite seeds. If we're continuing to go back to the seed analogy, you have an entire infinite supply of seeds that you can plant, that you get to choose from. So which seeds do you want to grow? And then lastly, we have the Temperance card. So yeah, just a beautiful energy, also speaking on the duality of emotions, and taking that middle path that's of patience and moderation and true understanding and compassion for your journey. And then this also will mirror outward into your relationships. And the Temperance can also be about being careful in love, and combined with that kind of slower, more grounded energy of the Page of Pentacles, this really is about patience. And I feel like this card came out because I did say we got the 8 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, with the 10 of Cups. And I want to be careful about not allowing our ego to get these expectations of a fast moving, relationship when the Page of Pentacles and Temperance are here, really allowing us to achieve balance in a slow way, because that's where we'll find greater purpose and meaning in the experiences. So again, just this duality of the Temperance card calling us back to the balance between your inner self and your outer world, and how you can achieve harmony in that. And these things really do take time, and your calmness is going to nurture this ability to achieve balance and harmony in your highest timeline. So this is a good reminder to reflect on how you show up in your internal world with yourself, your thoughts, your beliefs, your self-talk, the way that you spend your time, the way you justify spending your time, everything that goes on in your internal world. Really allow yourself to have this breakthrough. And another small message that's coming through is that even the smallest shifts or realizations or breakthroughs or the most minor actions that you can take can have the most profound effects. It's like the ship that changes its direction by 1 degree and it will end up on a completely different continent. So really allow your intuition to guide you even in the most smallest subtle ways, because as long as you're following love and following that which brings you joy and contentment and fulfillment on an internal level in a way that you have full empowerment over, then you are on the right track, and you will continue to spiral upward into more feelings of love and joy. And that's the beauty of this breakthrough, is that you're realizing just how powerful you are. So I hope that this reading resonated and inspired you in some way. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. I would love to hear from you in the comments. As always, that's my absolute favorite thing, is to read the breakthroughs and your interpretations of the readings. So please let me know what you think. And of course, every like and subscribe means so much to me as we're beginning to form this collective. So I'm just so happy to be here and to be attracting this beautiful collective and doing these readings. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.